Hey beautiful people, I am up on my farm right now and taking a little walk up to my tiny house. It's up on the hill up here, and just wanted to tell a story really quickly about my experience. This is a 20-acre property that my best friend lived on, and he died in November. I found his body in a little cabin down that way. And he left me this place. But in my despair and sorrow and grief of losing him, I didn't want to be living here. I gave the place away to friends of mine who are wonderful young people who are gonna farm it and do wonderful things with it. So it's good. Sometimes I feel like maybe I should have kept it, but I don't know. I didn't, and the deed is done. But, you know, there's a lot to say about my experience here. This little tiny house up here is still technically mine, although I may walk away from this as well. And this little mountain bike stunt we've been building up here. And just move on with my life. But right now I have this little tiny house, and this is it. We'll walk around it. We call it the Fairy House, and it was built in the late 70s by some really awesome fair folk. And my best friend and I found it before this place got logged. It got logged last year. And it was really deep in the lush woods when we first found it. So this is the Fairy House. We'll go in. And I've considered fixing it up and having it as a potential sanctuary. Come on, Molly. So come in the door here, and we've got the little built-in seating area and a little kitchen, a wood stove. Beautiful windows, got a little closet here. And then there's a ladder here, it might be hard, there we go, that goes up to a little loft upstairs, which we can just kind of get a peek at here. It's a little sleeping loft up there. So this is my little tiny house. And it's a little warm in here right now. But I just want to express something that happened to me with all of this, and that was many years ago. I was in a situation where I lost my voice. And I've always been a pretty loud, outspoken person. And it was about 2007. It was 2007. I was on a trip to Europe. I had a situation where I don't need to go into it. I lost my voice. I lost my ability to stand up for myself and to speak for myself. And this went on for years. And even when I left the situation, I think it maybe is too warm to sit in here, but there's the Fairy House. Even when I left that situation, I realized over time I still did not have my voice. I still was really struggling with that. And I entered into better relationships and so forth, but I still found life circumstances coming up to me and demanding that I use my voice, and it was always a struggle. So last summer I ended up living up in the mountains at this place and had a lot of issues with the neighbors. Boy, were they just all over me. And I was like, okay, boundaries. I'm not asserting my boundaries well. I'm still struggling with this. This is crazy. How many years till I get my voice back? And so fast forward through that, I come home. I spend 17 days with my best friend mountain biking every day and talking, and then I discover, you know, him having killed himself. And this is kind of a sanctuary of mine I'm sharing with you. I'll give you a little panorama. So anyway, I find his body. I go through all of that. I have to call his family, tell him he's dead. Everyone he knew, I called everyone he knew and told him that he was dead. And the nature of this person's life, I ended up really being the only person that anyone could direct any of their feelings about it at. He left me everything he owned. I had to throw him a funeral. I had to, you know, go into his home and throw away things like his toothbrush and, you know, just small heartbreak after heartbreak. And I really had a lot of shit come at me from his family, from his friends. And I think that they just had nowhere else to put it. They had no avenue for what they were going through besides me. And boy, did I find my voice through this process. You know, I was forced to use my voice and to put down very intense boundaries. And it's like I had to find the rebalancing of it because I had let it go the other way for so long. I sort of had to stretch it back further than I would want it to go in the other direction, you know, to the point where I'm like, you know, fuck you, how dare you, you will not trespass against me this way, you know, like strong boundaries. And somewhere amongst all that pain and intensity, I ended up finding balance, and I found my voice again, and I found my power. And now it's a lot easier for me to speak up in the moment when something is happening, instead of waiting and stewing and such nonsense that I was doing before. So, you know, I thank Matt for finally getting me to a place where I could get my voice back. I mean, damn you for killing yourself, but I love you for teaching me so many profound things through that process, and I understand why you killed yourself. So, you know, I'm pretty at peace with that. I mourn every day still, and I cry often just in missing him. You know, he was my person. He was, you know, if anything was going on, he was the one who called me and said, let's do this, or let's do that, or let's go to this thing together. And, you know, he talked to me every day. And, you know how that is when you have that person that is always interested in being with you and talking to you. And that can be a rare thing, you know, especially as we get older. It's rarer and rarer. So I just wanted to tell that story today and share a little bit of my sanctuary up here with you guys, and say that boundaries are a really good thing. We have to honor ourselves by having them, and we have to honor others and allowing theirs. And that's my little voice story. So I hope you guys are having a really great day, and thanks for walking in the woods with me. I'm going to walk up a little further. It gets kind of dense up here. I'm going to walk up into this stuff right now. All right, see ya.